Well, here we are, continuing on from our last episode at Yarra Yarra Lakes, and what a beautiful spot, apart from the sun's behind the clouds there. But a beautiful spot, and I do want to try and get some salt, but I think it's a silly idea walking out here, because I have done it before, and you just sort of... flies. It's a silly idea, I think, because you start to get out a bit further, and it turns into just horrible mud that you sink down. I'll see if I can show you a little bit. Look at that. So you can't really get down to the edge of the water. It's a bit of a pain. And we're going to try and get through this. I'm not too sure how the track is. They have had a fair bit of rain. This is pretty full. So I guess we'll play it by ear. But anyway, we'll get into this. Yarra Yarra Lakes. And this is completely unplanned as well. We're just going to keep going until we find somewhere nice to pull up tonight. I was hoping to find somewhere along the lakes here, but I just don't think it's going to happen with all these flies. It is, I think it's about 2 o'clock now. I'm not too sure how the track's going to be. So the original plan was to find somewhere exactly like this along Yarra Yarra Lakes here and pull up for the night, have a nice fire, put everything out, awning, everything, and just watch, well, kick back and watch this, watch the sun go down. And I think this sort of comes alive, turns into a bit of a pink lake at night. But unfortunately, it's just not going to happen. It's 3 o'clock now and the flies are ridiculous. That's the only thing stopping me, really. If the flies weren't here, I'd pull up here happily, but we're just going to keep going, try and get away from these flies a little bit, see where we end up. Oh. Now, I'm itching to get some of this salt out here, but it's just, I can't find the right chance to get it. It's all muddy, which is a bugger. We've made it to the small town of Three Springs, which is a small, I guess, wheat town. Don't know too much else about Three Springs. I know I spent a lot of time here around Three Springs, around this area, and some sort of commotion going on there. Yep, spent a lot of time around this area as there is a mine just out the back of here, Carrara iron ore operations. We spent a lot of time out there, so spent a lot of time in these little towns, but I don't really know too much about this town. I know that when wildflower season hits, it's absolutely ram-packed, which I don't know when wildflower season starts. I'm guessing it's after all the rain. But yeah, we'll just have a little look here at the information, which all looks brand new, to be honest. So just from reading the information sort of panels here, they have got a free short stay caravan park, maximum 3 nights. Which I'm finding on Wikicamps doesn't really show a lot of information on little towns on the west coast here. It's understandable. I mean, we haven't got a big enough sort of population as the east coast. So I'm having to use, I guess, HEMA a lot as well. HEMA's still sort of got a lot of caravan and camping signs on it that Wikicamps just hasn't got. And even then, short stay caravan park, I've only just found out about it here. They've got a heritage trail as well. 25 informative and enjoyable interpretive panels located around the 2,200 metre route. And there it is there. And these are out in force, the bank shears. At the moment, they're everywhere. So an interesting little read here on how the name Three Springs came about. Long story short is there's 3 springs around this area. There's one on the Moral Road about 2 kilometres from here, which we'll go and have a look at, see if we can find. And the other 2 are located on what is now private property. This water feature replicating a flowing spring was erected in 2006 to commemorate the centenary of the settlement of the area, and was originally called Catathini in 1908. The town was known locally as Three Springs and was finally officially named as such in 1946. So interesting little background there. And we've seen these before. The local families, I guess, on the walk. Memory Lane footpath with local families and descendants. So a local artist, Kathy Reed, has done these 2 murals, and they're beautiful, beautiful bits of art. So I won't get too much into that wildflower sort of country stuff because they're not in the right season. There's no real point going out looking for them. We'll have to find out when that season is and come back and check them out. So the rose mallee, the Shire's floral emblem, is listed as an endangered species with fewer than 400 individual plants known to exist near Three Springs and Watheroo. And that was it just over there. Which this little bird loves it. So I've put a lot of work in here, Three Springs. Beautiful art, beautiful gardens, beautiful walk. The walking trail is bloody top notch. It just seems very quiet at the moment, which is understandable. I think the peak times for here are wildflower season, and it's ram-packed then. But one thing I did notice, silo art. I did have to Google it as well. There's barely any silo art north of Perth. I'm not too sure how many there were south of Perth. I think there's only 5 or 6 in WA, which is a bit weird. I think sort of some areas of WA should look at doing some silo art, because that there would just pop. It'd look really nice with silo art on that. But that's going to do us here for Three Springs. It's 4 o'clock. Time to go find a nice free camp. Not going to stay here in town. I think we're going to try and get out of town a little bit, have a little fire, and kick back by ourselves. But anyway, Three Springs, top spot, bloody top spot. They've put in loads of work. You can certainly see how much work they've actually put in with the beautiful gardens. Anyway, let's hit the road. So this is another one that's just not on Wiki Camps at all. Saying that, it is a brand new park, but it's just, yeah, it's not on anything. So they're putting in a lot of effort here for tourism. A little bike track, BMX track. So anyway, no real information on Dominican Park, but brand new park and beautiful little area. But we'll keep on going and we'll find this little well. Well, here it is, we've found it. One of the 3 springs that Three Springs was named after. Historical site, one of the original Three Springs first used by the district's pioneers for their stock. I don't know if you can see in there, there is water in there. I'm not too sure if this thing's still going to work. No, it definitely doesn't work. No other little information panels or anything. So I guess that's going to do us here in Three Springs. Keep on moving. And the wind has picked up, which is a bugger. We might have to find somewhere that's sort of tucked away out of the wind, so we have a nice night. Oh. He got through it, but I reckon that would have hurt. Well, this is going to be us. Sort of got caught off guard a bit there. I was just cruising along this road and it's just straight out there. Cruising along the road, watching the sun go down, thinking, yeah, I'll be fine, I've got lights on the side of the car, but it clicked on me pretty quick. I haven't got the lights, I've taken them off. So yeah, this is going to be us. Had to pretty much find a nice little spot to pull up. So this is us, but happy days. It's a nice little spot. We'll try and get a quick little fire on because I'm determined to have a fire, just because I'm missing a fire. And try and cook some kebabs up on the fire. If not, we've got the oven on, just in case we can't get a fire going, but I'm determined to have a fire. At least the flies have dropped now. They're no longer giving me the willies. And I will say the temperature's dropped considerably. I watched it go from I think 21 degrees to about 16, so it's pretty cold out here, but it's a beautiful night. And I'm hoping I can get the GoPro going again and get some beautiful footage of some stars. But this is us. Let's get dinner on. So it looks like I'm not the first to have camped out here. Just sort of looking around here, me and the flies. Found a couple of bottles, but they are pretty, well, I find them pretty interesting because they're still all in one piece. But we've got here, this bottle is the property of Faulding & Co, Limited Australia. Never heard of them. Everyone's seen these ones, but it's the only one I could find sort of in one piece. This bottle always remains the property of Australian glass manufacturers. This, I thought it was one piece, but unfortunately it's not. And I'm pretty sure this is off a power pole, an old power pole, but yeah, unfortunately not in one piece. Let's chip that top bit off, which is spewing there, because it's a nice little, I guess, piece. And then lucky last that I could find, out of all the sort of ones together, was this one. A fair few of these ones around, which says on the base, I don't know if you can see it, I can only just see it, but it says Brill Cream, which, doing a bit of research, is hair cream or something, but whoever was out here before me must have liked their hair, because there's about 4 or 5 of these floating around. But anyway, I'm starting to get over these flies. They're driving me insane here. We got rain last night, so they're out in force today. We'll start packing everything up, I guess, and we've got bacon and eggs, well, bacon egg muffin in the little cooker there, so by the time I've packed up, hopefully the eggs have sort of set a little bit, enough for the drive. I'm not too good with eggs, so it's just sort of the egg in the little cooker wizard. But anyway, let's get this packed up. These flies are doing my head in. Oh, these flies. Oh, that turned out all right. The bacon's a bit underdone, but those eggs look pretty good to me. Right, I'll get this all together, a nice bacon egg McMuffin, and we'll hit the road. We'll get on out of here. So I've taken a risk on the last little, I guess, river that we were at. I followed a dirt track just to sort of see where it went. It looked all right from Google Maps. I did want to stay at a couple of little creek crossings, but they just didn't have signal, and now's sort of the perfect time to ring Soch. They're 8 hours behind, or somewhere around there. So I had to have signal, but this has paid off, this little dirt track. This is a spectacular little spot. I did catch the last little moments of the sun sort of reflecting off those rocks, and it was bloody beautiful. But this is going to be us. Before it gets too dark, we'll put a little fire on and we'll set everything up. I know it's definitely lopsided there. We'll try and fix that up, but you can't beat this spot. Right off the tracks and, well, no one else around. Bloody awesome little spot. Flies. 5 or 6 maybe, real. Oh.